Here comes the kickoff, and we're starting a bit earlier today on this Saturday for some ACC football. This one goes back into the end zone for the touchback, and Vandy will start at its own 25-yard line. Well, new face at quarterback to A.J. Swan, and look, Hudson, he's got a couple of guys that he just loves to throw the football to.
Yeah, Will Shepard and Jaden McGowan. Will Shepard is an absolute red zone target. Big kid, 6'4", $198, and Jaden McGowan, they'll use him and line him up all different places formationally. Joey Lynch, the offensive coordinator for Vanderbilt, loves to get him involved in a lot of different ways.
The big thing for A.J. Swan this week that we heard time and time again from Clark Lee and Joey Lynch, the OC, he needs to play relaxed. They felt like he did that in the second half last week. We'll see if it comes out early this week as they start with a handoff to Patrick Smith, who picks up 3 yards on the play, tackled by Jasheen Davis.
Yeah, it's the Vanderbilt offense. Joey Lynch told us he wants to try to get it going early. And the run game has been some struggles with it the first 2 weeks, but it's an important part, especially early in this game, of helping their young quarterback get into a rhythm.
Vanderbilt, this is their 3rd game of the season because they played Hawaii week 0, so a little bit more film on this year's Vanderbilt team for Wake Forest than most opponents. They go pistol look here. A.J. Swan directing traffic. Looking up to the top of your screen, the pass complete to the tight end, Justin Ball. Falls over the 30-yard line. Kendron Wayman on the stop.
And it's part of just staying ahead of schedule. You hear coaches all the time say, just taking profits. That's a phrase that was reiterated all throughout practice this week. When you talk about consistency and A.J. Swan taking that next step, you know, you talk about 3rd down situations right here and identifying what type of defense for the young quarterback that Wake Forest is in. Are they going to be bringing pressure? Are they in 2 high or 1 high? Using a little bit of motion here to collect some information at the line of scrimmage.
They spread it out. Empty look here. Lots of options for A.J. Swan, trying to show off his arm early, and he was looking for Logan Kyle. That pass is picked off. Malik Mustafa, this guy all over the field. An interception on the first drive. What a start for Wake.
Well, Swan is trying to throw the fade route from the slot, and he's got the matchup that he wants, but he just leaves the ball a little too long in the air. Mustafa, who's already hanging to that side of the field, that's a mistake early in the game that the young sophomore A.J. Swan can't make. With that safety, Mustafa already pre-snap leaning to that side of the field. He can't throw that fade route right there to the slot. That's a mistake that a young quarterback makes. Got to learn from it.
Huge play for Malik Mustafa in his 2nd season at Wake. His goal this year to be a more versatile player. So here goes Mitch Griffis starting their first drive in great field position thanks to the turnover. Damon Claiborne is the back. Now some news for Wake Forest we learned before kickoff. Justice Ellison, one of their running backs, had a concussion in practice, so he is out for this game. We expect to see Claiborne and Tate Carney for the first time for Mitch Griffis.
Yeah, you'll see a little bit of that redshirt freshman, Tate Carney as well, but this is exactly not the ideal start that Vanderbilt talked about, getting off with a turnover and bad field position already.
Yeah, as you mentioned, they were key on what would happen on 3rd down. Almost threw it right back to B.J. Anderson, Vanderbilt's corner.
Yeah, B.J. Anderson playing press over there to the boundary. They're trying to throw a fade route, and Griffiths leaves it a little bit inside, and B.J. Anderson had every opportunity to almost come down with this. It's a really good job of the receiver right there. Taylor Morin kind of fighting and trying to get the ball out to protect the interception.
So they'll stop play. Lee Hendrick is our official today, our referee.
Lightning has been reported within 8 miles of the stadium. Teams will report to their locker room. The game is suspended at this time.
And that's exactly what Wake did not want to hear, with momentum on their side after the interception, in amazing field position in the red zone, and now a lightning delay. As you heard our referee say, it's within 8 miles, so that means they have to clear the players off of the field. We knew there was some weather in the area, but we were hoping it wouldn't come until a little bit later. And so, of course, that lightning rule, it's 30 minutes for every strike. So at least a 30-minute delay here, and that's tough for Wake, who's amped up after that INT.
Yeah, started to settle in. And this is already you know, almost creeping near a 10-play drive, and they're only at midfield. So interesting to see if they can keep the mental focus that they didn't have last week on long drives.
And flags coming out. Somebody jumped.
False start on the offense, number 20, 5-yard penalty. It remains 4th down.
That's just going to drive head coach Dave Clawson absolutely nuts. We just got done talking about the mental mistakes as the drives got longer. And you have 4th and 1, and your right guard and
the tight end
as well,
yeah.
both jump. And
yeah, they called it on Cameron Height, number 20, the tight end. So Ivan Mora will come on to punt for Wake Forest. Will Shepard is back for Vanderbilt. Shepard immediately hit a hard thud right there inside the 15. So we step aside. Wake Forest on top by 3, but Vanderbilt with the football when we come back. Full day of football here on the ACC Network. Coming up at 2:15 Eastern. Clemson hosting Charleston Southern. Then App State against North Carolina. Our nightcap at 8:30 Eastern. Southern Miss at Florida State. Every game also available on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. And we're glad to be back with you. I think the fans, for the most part, have come back in, dried off the seats. I mean, Hudson, it absolutely poured down rain.
Yeah, hard to tell looking at the broadcast. It looks sunny and 75, which it is right now, but about an hour and a half ago, it was the exact opposite of that.
So A.J. Swan comes back out to lead this Vanderbilt offense. And again, the message to him this week, you don't need to do more. You have help. Use those targets. So that's been a focus for him. He did throw an interception on the first drive to start this game. Jaden McGowan in motion, a guy to keep an eye on. And they'll throw it right to Jaden McGowan. Larisha Clark-Lee was pretty open about his goals for Vanderbilt today.
Yeah, he pinpointed those 4 objectives, Courtney, and said he wanted to see and pull out that from his players' performance today. The first one was players taking ownership, their voices. He wanted the guys to interact with each other, show their expressions and their passion, and also do small things well. Simply be present and don't make assumptions. The next one was just enjoy this opportunity, just play come what may. And lastly, ensure that our identity is consistent throughout all 4 quarters.
Clark-Lee in his 3rd season leading his alma mater. He's one of 9 coaching at their alma mater this season, and they'll stop the play. Vanderbilt gets a timeout call.
Vanderbilt. This is their first charge of the half.
There's a lot of these floating around in the world.
So Vandy will take a timeout, and we will step aside. 3:16 left here.
ACC Network College Football is brought to you by the Honey Baked Ham Company.
The second quarter. Tyler Black to take the kickoff duties for Wake today. Second game for Wake. It's the 3rd game of the season for this Vanderbilt Commodore team as they started week 0 against Hawaii, their first road game of the year. And here comes McGowan for the Commodores.
Go, Max!
Taken down at the 25-yard line. Well, you've seen the impact that Dave Clawson, now in his 10th season with Wake Forest, has had. It's been incredible to watch the transformation. 10 years, a decade now under his leadership, and 60 wins. Picked that up last week, 150th win of his career last week against Elon. In 2021, he was the AP and the Conference Coach of the Year. And more impressive, the consistency. 7 straight bowl appearances for Wake. Of course, they won the Gasparilla Bowl against Missouri last season. And hey, in all his time, too, at Wake, he's 3-0 against SEC opponents, looking to go 4-0 today. A.J. Swan rolling and throwing. Just the second time he's thrown and looked for Jaden McGowan.
Yeah, they need to find ways to get McGowan and Shepard more involved here in the second quarter. That's just the second target and first catch of the day for McGowan. And Shepard only has 1 catch. He has 1 drop as well, but ever since the interception on the first drive for for A.J. Swan, it feels like everything has been targeted short and toward the hashes, the middle of the field. As long as Wake Forest is playing that too high, wide safety coverage, Vanderbilt has got to start to attack the middle of the field more.
Hand it off to Patrick Smith. He's got the first down, falling forward to the 36-yard line.
Averaging before that run 3.3 yards per carry. You got to find ways to get more explosive in the run game, and here they pull the guard, they pull the center, they get great blocking up front, and Patrick Smith is able to put together one of the only 10-plus runs today for this rushing offense.
And there is a Wake Forest player down right now. It's Kalen Carson, one of their star DBs. And you know what Dave Clawson told us? He just needs to stay healthy. This is a guy that makes their defense so much better. So while they're checking out, looks to be okay. And Larisha, the coaches, I mean, they love this guy.
Yeah, they love him. He's one of the leaders on the defensive side of the ball. But as you mentioned, Courtney, the biggest thing that Coach Clawson wants Carson to do is to stay healthy, remain healthy. They said that he's an eraser corner and gives the defense flexibility. And even last year against Vanderbilt, he had a great game, including a wonderful tackle for loss. So seeing him go down, especially after missing the first half of last week for this exact reason, is something that they don't want to happen again.
The good news is he looks okay. Maybe he comes in after this play. Play action for A.J. Swan, and he's got to move as the pocket collapses. Stepping up, Jaden McGowan is his guy. Took a hard hit and bounced off. Still going inside the 15. Tough as nails, Jaden McGowan.
Well, the play all starts with the pocket presence of A.J. Swan. He gets some pressure. Watch right here to your right. He does a great job protecting the football, stepping up with his eyes downfield. That is a great job. And then McGowan making a play after the catch. He's extremely electric and fast. And that is exactly the explosive play that Vanderbilt needed in the passing game. Before that, their longest pass completion was 8 yards.
That was a 50-yard pickup. You see why Wake was so concerned about McGowan. Patrick Smith breaking tackles. Takes it to the 11.
Just before that long completion to McGowan, I was about to say Vanderbilt has got to find a way to start creating some explosive plays in the passing game. You know, with the new rule change, with the clock change in college football through 2 weeks, we're seeing about, on average, about 10 to 15 plays less per game. And I think what Joey Lynch took away from that is he wants to be more aggressive earlier in the game, calling shot plays.
Maybe not holding plays as much or working on setup plays. You may never get to that play you're trying to set up. Again, the clock does not stop on first down except inside the 2-minute mark. Throwing it up to Will Shepard. A highlight reel guy, Will Shepard, laying out.
The ruling on the field is a touchdown.
Well, it's a great ball location and accuracy by Swan, placing this over toward the sideline where only his guy can get it. And they absolutely love these jump balls to Will Shepard. And it's going to be close to see if he got his feet down. Let's see if he gets...
His feet don't come down.
His feet never come down. It's going to be a matter of, does his back...
The ruling on the field is a touchdown. That play is under review.
Be a matter of when does he possess the ball, when is it caught, and where, if any part of his body lands in the blue. Yeah, I think that's going to come back. I think when his body lands simultaneously when he makes with the catch, he's out of bounds. Incredible job of, as he's kind of falling, still making the catch. I think he ran out of real estate.
Oh, but
does his
elbow go down first, though?
That left elbow makes you take a second look at it.
He had possession when he contacted the ground. Does the elbow hit first in bounds? Not surprised to see Will Shepard make that kind of play, though. Again, this guy already has 4 receiving touchdowns through 2 games for Vanderbilt. Let's take another look.
I think this angle is the best one to see if his elbow hits first. That left elbow right there.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's going to be close.
He had possession if the elbow hits in the black. And again, it has to be obvious. The call on the field was that this was a touchdown.
It's so bang bang, and it's so close. Right as his elbow is hitting inbounds, his back and half of his upper body is landing out of bounds. And you're exactly right. There has to be enough conclusive evidence for them to overturn the call on the field. It sure feels like that's what it's going to come down to.
And we have a decision. We'll hear from our referee.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
So they couldn't confirm it, but not enough to overturn it. The call stands, and that's touchdown number 5 of the season for Will Sheppard.
Yeah, Sheppard has become an absolute mismatch in the red zone, and a lot of it has to do with his size. 6'4", and no matter what type of DB you throw at him, with his basketball background in high school, he can leap and he can go get it. He's extremely athletic. He comes down with an acrobatic touchdown on his 5th on the season.
Jacob Porchillo, the Kansas transfer, on for the PAT.
It's a big-time answer by Vanderbilt there. Before that drive, they've been struggling in the passing game. This is the long pass to McGowan that sets up the touchdown. The coaches said he was extremely athletic after the catch, and then they find their big 6'4" Will Sheppard.
Tied for 6th in Vanderbilt history with 18 career touchdown receptions, his 5th of the season, and it's a 3-point game right now. Will Ferris to kick this thing off as Wake's going to try to answer, but A.J. Swan going to one of his favorite targets when he needed a touchdown, an acrobatic catch. No surprise, that's what happens when Will Sheppard gets thrown the football. This guy's so important, Larisha.
Growing up, played a major role in what we just saw him stretching out. The guy played basketball, and he also participated in high jump when he was in high school. He gets up there, y'all. The highest he recorded during competition, he told me, was 6'8". 6'8". And I asked him, how does this help you? He said, going up and attacking the football at the highest point and having a higher leverage over some of the DBs at the catch point, that's how he uses his gifts to his advantage. Courtney?
Yeah, and he's certainly helping Vanderbilt with those gifts. So now Wake with the chance to respond, and for the first time, we're going to see Tate Carney in the game. He's the running back with Mitch Griffis. They give it to Carney, a redshirt freshman. Ethan Barr on the stop. We mentioned Sheppard's career numbers, now tied for 6th in school history with those 18 touchdown catches.
It's a pretty good ratio. I always think receivers, one way to judge success on receivers, what's their catch to touchdown ratio? And 119 career catches for 18 touchdowns, a pretty good one.
Griffis going to the air. Pass is complete. It's Jamal Banks, who already has a touchdown catch in this game, and that will move the chains to Ricky Wright there to keep him from getting any more.
Yeah, speaking of Sheppard, I mean, Banks is like Wake Forest's version of him.
Yeah.
Kind of same body size, same skill set, plays that X receiver. He can run, you know, the entire route tree, and you really have to honor. You got to be careful about playing bump and man, bump and run coverage against him because he's got speed with the size to run by you.
Quick pass out, and it goes right back down to Jamal Banks. Stopped by Trudell Berry.
Just feeding him catches and touches here early on.
Carney on the move. Falling forward to the 42 before he's met by C.J. Taylor.
C.J. Taylor coming from that nickel Sam position. This is the guy last year that was kind of rotating at safety, was having trouble kind of finding a home in between safety and nickel Sam, but he has found a role, and he's executing it really well right now for this defense.
Third down, Wake Forest 2 for 4 today on third down, and flags coming out. False start.
False start on the offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty, and it remains third down.
That's on the center, Luke Pettibon. Pettibon has taken over that center position. It was Michael Juergens the last 34 games before this season starting at center. He's slid over to the left guard spot. Moved there in the spring.
This is an area last week where Elon was able to create some pressure on 3rd and long, predictable passing situations. Really no pressure. They've done a nice job of protecting Mitch Griffis so far here today. Let's see what Vanderbilt does.
Griffis will drop back. Staring down his target. How do you not know? I mean, the football is going to Jamal Banks. It's not a secret.
Yeah, no, you got to identify where he's at. And this time, Mitch Griffis sees the pressure coming into his face. Watch the pressure coming off the edge right there. The running back, Tate Carney, does a nice job picking it up. And Griffis delivers it right into the blitz.
15-yard pickup. They use that slow mesh. A shot down the field, looking for Taylor Moore, and just overthrew him.
What Dave Clawson loves to do, as soon as he gets that first down, he's coming back with the shot. It's the first down. Here's that slow mesh, which puts so much stress and puts that high safety in a conflict. You have to do a really good job if you're in the secondary of having your eyes in the right place. And most of the time, that means having your eyes on your guy. Because you get your eyes caught in the backfield, peeking. If it's a run or not, you're in trouble.
What a hit. You mentioned C.J. Taylor, Hudson. Hello.
Yeah. Flying in from that nickel Sam position. And that's something that Nick Howell, the defensive coordinator for Vanderbilt, said was an emphasis this week. They saw Elon create some pressure and get 4 sacks last week, and they wanted to come in and take advantage, show different looks, have different stunts up front to create some confusion. And they get the first sack of the day and force them into, again, a very long 3rd down.
Yeah, pass interference, absolutely, as Walker Morrell was hit before the ball got there. And that was B.J. Anderson with the P.I.
Yeah, B.J. Anderson, who gave up the touchdown
pass
catch.
Interference on the defense, number 26. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the previous spot, and it carries an automatic first down.
It's just not a good job by Anderson. He has no idea where the ball is, and he just runs straight into the receiver. You know, he doesn't even try to make a play on the ball, and here your team is in a 3rd down and long. You got a great chance of getting off the field. A very low percentage throw there that's covered, and he gets lackadaisical with his technique.
1st and 10 now from the Vanderbilt 41. Carney, punch in the hole to the 35. I mean, Wake's offense, we've seen them effectively run the ball, and we've seen what Mitch Griffis can do through the air.
Yeah, and you can't give them extra possessions and extra downs like they did there and allowing them to stay on the field, because they'll take advantage of it.
Carney picks up a couple on that, met by Aeneas DeCosmo, transfer from Stanford.
Here's Vanderbilt making a hockey substitution, getting fresh guys on the field, especially at the defensive line position, getting a little bit more of a base set here in third and short, expecting a run, getting some of those bigger body defensive linemen on the field.
Wake 3 for 5 on 3rd down. Williams in motion. Carney, he's got it. Still going. Twists and turns to the 25. Make it the 26.
Just the threat alone of Mitch Griffis maybe pulling this ball was the difference. And that backside defensive end, Darren Agu, from screaming down the line or not. And that's what just the threat alone of a quarterback who can pull it and make you pay will do.
Griffis to the air. Pass complete at the 15-yard line, Keyshawn Williams. We've seen, too, on this drive how they change the tempo. They've got so many different looks, fast, medium, slow.
They're on fast the past couple plays here. They get up to the line of scrimmage, and they're looking more to try to figure out what Vanderbilt, and Vandy takes a
timeout. Vanderbilt. This is their 2nd charge timeout of the half.
Wake driving about 5 minutes until the half. They're up by 3.
How irresistible are Cheez-It crackers?
Season leading the field hockey team here at Wake was the Open Gate honoree. Sunday Women's Sports take over the ACC network starting at noon with field hockey. You'll see Syracuse and UConn, and then a soccer triple header will follow. Of course, Wake, a 3-time national champ. It was the first women's championship here at Wake back in 2002. First and 10 for Wake Forest. They'll swing it out to Cameron Height, the tight end. Pickup of 3 on the play. He was met by B.J. Anderson.
Matchup to watch down here in the red zone is Jamal Banks on B.J. Anderson. Anderson with a nice tackle there. But last time Wake Forest was down here in the red zone, they picked on Anderson and threw the jump ball for a touchdown to Banks.
Carney. To about the 8-yard line now.
There's a slow mesh inside zone run play, and you can see it just takes so long to get going and develop, and obviously that's done on purpose. I can't tell you how much stress and conflict that puts in on your linebackers to be able to diagnose whether it's a pass or a run. When that ball sits in the belly of that running back for that long as a linebacker, you got to make a decision. Am I going to drop in the coverage or am I attack like a run? And if you're wrong, it could be a difference in a touchdown.
Griffis, look. This is how they did it the first time, and pass interference. You mentioned it, Hudson, going after Jamal Banks and B.J. Anderson in coverage again.
Yep, and that's the second PI thrown on B.J. Anderson this drive.
Pass interference on the defense, number 26. The foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 2-yard line.
I mean, it's
automatic first down.
It's really just not great technique. Wasn't great technique on the 3rd and long, and it's not great technique there. He's tackling Jamal Banks to the ground, and that's going to be called PI. I mean, that's as easy of a PI call that side judge will ever have. And, you know, here on the 2 or 3 yard line, they're probably going to run it, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them go after B.J. Anderson again.
Yeah, he's still out there lined up with Jamal Banks on the near side. We're going this jumbo look with Tate Carney. Flags are out.
Illegal formation, illegal substitution on the defense. Played the down with 12 players. The penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal from the previous spot. It remains first down.
You know, Clark Lee talked to us about Wake Forest. You have got to play clean football. They're not going to beat themselves, and Vanderbilt right now is not playing clean football.
Yeah. Somebody, and I think it was B.J. Anderson as he jogs over to the sideline, was probably supposed to come out there. Wake Forest in their jumbo package, and a lot of times in that jumbo package, a corner comes out and an extra linebacker or defensive lineman comes in.
Tate Carney around the side into the end zone, and Tate Carney with a touchdown.
Well, the touchdown is all set up by Dave Clausen in the formation. If you notice, the ball purposely gets bounced to the edge to where Carney is one-on-one with the DB, and that is a matchup that should favor the running back 10 out of 10 times. Tate Carney coming in at 215 pounds, and C.J. Taylor coming in at about $195. There's just an advantage that favors the running back. That's great execution, but even better scheme and design by Dave Clausen right there in the run game.
Tate Carney with his first touchdown and his first appearance of the season. We saw him 3 games last year, but mostly special teams got to preserve that red shirt, and he has been called upon today with Justice Ellison not available due to a concussion. 17-7 for Wake.
The penalties were a huge theme on that drive for Vanderbilt, and specifically the defensive pass interference. I go back to the third and about 15 that Wake Forest had in the middle of the field that eventually prolonged the drive and led to points.
Kelsey Riggs here with a studio update.
Of Wake Forest are all locked in on that underneath bubble route. It is a great call by Joey Lynch to set that up, pump fake it, slip Shepard up the seams for a touchdown in his second of the day.
Porchilla PAT. Okay, you said before that drive, a great opportunity to see where your young quarterback is at. What did he show you?
Yeah. Well, I think first off, he showed you some resiliency. The game didn't start exactly how he wanted to. The first drive, he throws a pick that leads to points for Wake Forest, and then after that, it was a couple a couple rough drives where they were kind of trying to get themselves back, but the play calling and the execution of A.J. Swan the past 2 drives have looked totally different than how he looked in the first quarter. And Joey Lynch told us, he goes, out of 8 quarters of football so far this season coming into today, they felt like they'd only played about 4 quarters of good football. And so it's just about consistency. But you see, man, the arm strength there from A.J. in the throws, the post on the touch over the top, and then to be able to zip it in there on the next one. I mean, I think it shows the type of arm talent and ceiling this kid has, but also the type of trust that Joey Lynch has in him to put the ball in his right hands. This is an NFL throw, folks, right here. I mean, that's a 30-yard throw on a rope.
Best drive of the day, no question, by Vanderbilt. And oh, by the way, Will Sheppard now 2 touchdown catches in all 3 games this season for Vanderbilt.
What I love about it is it's touchdown catches in different ways. The first one was a fade route in a one-on-one situation in the red zone. Right there, that's just Joey Lynch using plays earlier in the game to set up that type of play. They've thrown the bubble route a couple times, and a great play call off of that is to fake the bubble, pump it hard, and then have Sheppard slip up the seam for a touchdown. What do you think Will Sheppard is saying right there? Coach, they can't guard me. I think that's what he's saying. Red zone in the middle of the field, and the numbers reflect that. Nobody's been able to guard him.
But hey, now Wake has a chance here to answer. Wake with 2 timeouts left, and Jamal Meigs may be saying the same thing about Vanderbilt. They can't cover me because he's been their guy. Most consistent. That pass incomplete. They were looking for Wesley Grimes.
Griffis sees the corner blitz, throws right into it. Unfortunately, Wesley Grimes, the young sophomore, isn't on the same page with his quarterback. Griffis wanting him to just stop and show his shoulders right now as the corner blitzed, and Grimes kept running down the field.
Turns and hands off to Claiborne. He's so good at spinning his body, getting that extra yard, takes it to the 29.
See how Dave Clawson decides to manage the clock here. Decides to run it all the way down, or if he wants to stay aggressive.
3rd and 6 coming. Mitch Griffis taking his time. 3 guys surrounding his intended target. And Kane Patterson in there may have gotten a hand on that ball.
Yeah, Kane Patterson reading the eyes of Griffis the entire way right here. Watch White 19 kind of come in the window at the last second as Griffis is trying to fit in that curl route. And there's a lot of white jerseys around that curl route for you to feel comfortable ripping it in there.
So 1:02 on the clock. Vanderbilt has 1 timeout. Will Sheppard is back to field this punt. And the punter got hit. Ivan Mora goes down by Bryce Cowan. Wake Forest has the football. Wake Forest going to the end zone. Touchdown Wake, but a flag on the field at the other end. Should be roughing the punter.
Yeah, this should be a touchdown, and it should stand for Wake Forest. I think we're going to get a roughing the punter and then a muffed punt by the Vanderbilt punt returner that results in a touchdown.
Running
this should
into
stand.
The kicker on the receiving team. That penalty is declined. Touchdown.
What a change of momentum before the half. You can see here, being aggressive, trying to go after the punt block. And then you got 2 Vanderbilt players that run right into each other.
And Brendan Harris comes out with this football and takes it into the end zone.
You know, special teams has been a calling card early on for Vanderbilt. I mean, they've won games. The first 2 games against the year between Hawaii and Alabama A&M, they won games because of special teams. Here today, special teams causing problems more than it is creating solutions for them.
Well, again, another play, another penalty that just kills Vanderbilt. They're not helping themselves here, and then Wake Forest able to take advantage. Brendan Harris getting in the end zone, who is a Vanderbilt transfer, started his career playing for the Commodores, now plays for Wake Forest.
They were extremely aggressive there, clearly trying to go for the block.
The ruling on the field was a fumble for a touchdown. That play is under review.
I don't know, maybe what they're going to review is did a knee touch by the Wake Forest player? I mean, because clearly, I mean, it's a fumble. That's clear as day.
No, I think he's in the air.
Yeah.
He's in the air when the ball comes out.
Yeah, they're determining whether or not Shepard was down or not, and he was not. That ball looked out.
Yeah, he was still coming down when the ball was out. So the call on the field should stand.
Shepard's trying to be aggressive here and catch the ball on the run, thinking right before the half if he could catch that split one guy and have even better field position. But, you know, and his eyes are up at the ball right now. He may not feel that teammate getting pushed right back into his lap. I think in hindsight, you'd like for him to just call a fair catch and you take the ball at the 40-ish yard line with a chance to score right before the half. But
after review, the ruling on the field stands. It is a touchdown. The receiver possessed the ball, then fumbled. It was recovered and advanced for a touchdown.
How do you think Brendan Harris feels right now with that touchdown against his former team?
Yeah.
On special teams.
Yeah. That is a unique feeling, but I mean, that's a difference in at least a 7-point swing there.
Yeah.
At least. You know, if Vanderbilt goes on to get at least another field goal, it's a 10-point swing. So that is a huge swing in the game.
Here's Matthew Dennis. (24-14). Momentum on the side of the Demon Deacons. Seconds until the half.
Clark Lee here, you know, based on how your quarterback performed and the way your offense moved the ball so easily on the last drive, with one timeout here, I would be thinking, hey, let's put trust in the right arm of A.J. Swan again. He's got two really good receivers in Jaden McGowan and Will Shepard that can go get it. One timeout. Plus the clock stops in college football when you get a fresh set of downs. I mean, that's a lot of time to work with right here before the half.
Yeah, because we're inside of 2 minutes in the half. That's right, the clock will stop. Vanderbilt will let this one go to the end zone. Turnovers have been a problem, specifically against Wake Forest. 5 turnovers in the last 6 quarters against Wake. Last year, Vanderbilt turned the ball over 3 times, resulting in 21 points for the Demon Deacons.
And these two teams are so evenly matched that when you go into a game like this, you just can't turn the ball over at that rate and expect good things to happen. I mean, that is an alarming number just for Wake Forest alone.
So what do you want to see from A.J. Swan here? He's got 1 timeout and 50 seconds.
Well, he depending on the play call, you want to be aggressive, but you got to be smart.
Quick pass out to Will Shepard at the 31-yard line. Kalen Carson on the stop. Clock continues to rock. Quincy Skinner got the first down and stepped out of bounds.
Yep, those are 2 good decisions. Now you get a first down out of bounds, so the clock will stop. It's essentially another timeout. And now you can start to think about attacking the middle of the field. Still have that 1 timeout in the back of your pocket. Watch for Will Shepard right here at the top of your screen.
They're going towards that near sideline with Justin Ball, the tight end. Picked up 2 yards on the play. Dylan Hazen forced him out.
If you're Wake Forest, you can't get so focused on just covering the pass that you forget about the legs of A.J. Swan, because if you lose some integrity rushing him, he does have the ability to step up in the pocket and essentially turn his legs into his own check down.
And not a run-first quarterback, but Wake called him a willing runner. Swan looking over, down the field, throws an interception, picked off by Deshaun Jones. Slides down at the 40, and that stops that. Wake Forest with all the momentum.
I think he's trying to fit it in to his tight end, Logan Kyle, here. And he just throws it high. And it's just not a very good ball. He's got Kyle wide open, sitting on a little curl route from the tight end position. And it just sails on right there in between two Wake Forest defenders. And I think the pass just gets a little high on A.J. Swan and leads to a second interception and yet another turnover for Vanderbilt.
It's the second interception for Deshaun Jones this season. Back-to-back weeks he's had a pick. Mitch Griffis flushed on the move. Got the first down, rolling around at the 30. They'll mark him at the 31-yard line. Savion Riley with the stop. And again, the clock doesn't stop on first down. So Dave Clawson trying to call a timeout.
Timeout, Wake Forest. This is their second charge timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
That's a really nice job of
Excuse me, the
Griffis.
clock does stop under 2 minutes. I misspoke.
Yeah, and they took a timeout as well.
Yeah, that's why they had to take the timeout. They've got one more.
Nothing open there. It's a good job of what I just kind of talked about, being alert of A.J. Swan being a willing runner. Mitch Griffis says, hey, I can match you. It makes a really good decision. And that's the difference of quarterbacks taking the next step in their game, especially the mental side of the game. Nothing's open there. They don't force anything. They've got a chance to score points. And he steps up and turns his own self into the check down when everything's covered. That's an impressive decision by Mitch Griffis there to now have a chance at least a field goal.
Well, coming up next on the Auto Owners Insurance halftime report, we'll get you caught up on all the latest stuff around the SEC, still early on, but that's coming up.
Timeout, Vanderbilt. That is their final charge timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
So now Vanderbilt will call timeout.
Yeah.
They can do that. The same team cannot call a timeout back-to-back.
New rule in college football, the same team cannot call consecutive timeouts in a row. So, I think Wake Forest has the opportunity here with 7 seconds and a timeout to throw a quick slant or to throw a quick out. And so they probably want to get at least another 5 yards of cushion for their field goal kicker.
And Matthew Dennis, his career long is 46 yards. He's 3 for 3 this season, as long as 34. Four for 4 now. He had one to start the game.
Interesting. Vanderbilt here playing 3 deep safeties. Almost like they're expecting Wake Forest to try to go for a touchdown here. I'd be surprised to see a run.
And they do. Claiborne slides at the 25, so they had a spot in mind.
Yeah, really interesting decision there by Nick Howell, the defensive coordinator. With only 7 seconds left, I didn't think Wake Forest was going to have a time to throw it to the field. It would take too much time. Yet Vanderbilt, 3 deep safeties, is playing like Wake Forest was going to throw it to the end zone.
This is our final charge timeout of the half. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
I mean, they were just asking them to run the ball, which they did. And they pick up the 5 to 6 yards that they needed for a more reasonable field goal.
And so they use that final timeout to stop the clock. And now 4 seconds left in the half. Wake Forest looking for 3 more points. Matthew Dennis ready to go his season long. I know we're only game 2 in for Wake, 34. So this will be a 44-yard field goal attempt for Matthew Dennis. And he pulls it right. So a 10-point game at the half.
Great because of the turnovers. And he talked about it with us, and he's talked about it and harped on it all week. This same game last year when these two teams played, Vanderbilt got beat in the turnover battle, and it was the main reason why they got blown out. And
Guys, I spoke to head coach Clark Lee, and he told me there is nothing that they haven't been prepared for that they cannot fix or solve themselves. It's merely reiterating the goals that he has been preaching to his team, because he was very disappointed in the 10 points off of the turnovers. He said they have to do the small things well. Ball security. They have to move the ball even more on offense and make sure that they are making smart decisions. Courtney?
Yeah, and there were some not so smart decisions, Larisha, especially on one of those scoring drives that ended with a Jamal Banks touchdown by the Vanderbilt defense. Keyshawn Williams thrown down as he tries to run that one out. And now Mitch Griffis and Wake Forest come back out on the field. What did you think of Griffis in the first half?
oh, I thought he looked good. I mean, he was extremely efficient. Didn't throw for a ton of yards, but 10 of 17. You know, the difference in those two quarterbacks right there is the touchdowns, the interceptions, and taking care of the footballs. Mitch Griffis made some plays with his legs when nothing was open. I thought the first half, and Dave Clawson alluded to it going into halftime, is Wake Forest was able to run the football. I think Vanderbilt came out playing a lot of 2 and 3 high safeties to prevent explosive plays, and they're playing a lot of light 5-man boxes. Wake Forest is going to continue to run into that.
That's a good sign, as last week Wake Forest was only able to rush for 98 yards, but that's because Elon allowed them to throw for 329. And a player down on the first play. Injured player for Wake is Nick Sharp, the right guard. So the medical staff taking a look at Nick Sharp. We will step aside here. Out obviously, and Matt Golbin will step in his spot on the offensive line. Pass batted away by Darren Agu, who is back after not playing this season so far. He's back from an injury.
Trying to throw a jailbreak screen to the slot. Who reads it, his eyes completely, the whole time he feels it, he anticipates it, and gets his hand up on it.
So now 3rd and 10 for Wake Forest. Griffis looking to go to the air. He does. Wesley Grimes this time making the catch and the first down. Dropped a ball in the second quarter, but Mitch Griffis going back to him for a big pickup.
And it all starts with the protection. I mean, all 5 offensive linemen plus the running back pick up the blitz. Griffis identifies he's got man one-on-one to Banks. And throws a nice accurate pass for a first down.
That's an 18-yard pickup. Slow mesh again over the top of the field. Keyshawn Williams inside the 30 before C.J. Taylor wrapped him up. Look at Wake go.
Yeah, I mean, just how difficult. I mean, I do not envy the job of these linebackers and these safeties when that slow mesh and that ball gets put in there and you're trying to figure out and dissect, does it run, is it pass? Griffis rips it out at the last second, throws a nice ball.
Back to the ground game with Claiborne. And I loved the comparison you made. I mean, the Vanderbilt coaching staff had tried to study this slow mesh in the offense in the offseason, because it is kind of like preparing for such a different look like the triple option is when you face a team that does that.
It's unique, so you have to spend more time on it in the offseason during training camp, which is what Vanderbilt did.
Griffis stepping up. You know, we've talked about it. Hudson, walk me through when the quarterback, when Mitch is running that, what's he reading? What is he looking for?
Well, there's always a player that they're reading. It's one player. Last year, a lot of it was the corners they were reading. And it could be a safety, it could be a linebacker that they put in conflict. It's very much like an RPO, and if it's a linebacker or a safety, you're just reading based on what that guy does. If he drops into coverage, you hand it off. If he jumps up, then you're throwing it behind him.
Griffis, all the time in the world now, moving out of that pocket and just throws the football away.
You know, one of the things that I thought coming into today was Vanderbilt had to find ways to get that internal clock.
They increase their lead here in the third. 8-play, 55-yard drive in 2 minutes and 18 seconds for Wake Forest. They get 3 more points. And now Vanderbilt back to receive. Again, the key for Vanderbilt, they've got to take care of the football. 3 turnovers in the first half. One of those coming on a muffed punt that Wake Forest returned into the end zone for a touchdown. This one go. You know, watching A.J. Swan, again, a young quarterback, his first year as the full-time starter, he's been inconsistent.
Yeah, and that's ironically the same word that his head coach Clark Lee used to us this week. There's been good and there's been bad. The good has been, you know, a couple touchdown pass, great ball here on a double move, fade route to the back of the end zone to Will Shepard, who he loves in the red zone. And he finds Will Shepard again, a touchdown machine. That was the good. And the bad has been the turnovers, and specifically the throws on the turnovers have been high in the air errant.
We welcome those of you watching us on ESPNU. A.J. Swan pass complete to London Humphreys for the first down. Courtney Lyle, Hudson Mason, and Larisha Harris with you. Wake Forest up 27-14. 3 Vanderbilt turnovers in the first half led to 10 points. And now A.J. Swan and this offense trying to be a little bit more consistent in the second half.
I think they have no other option but to be aggressive here. Joey Lynch talked about it with some of the new rule changes and the clock stopping after first downs. They get about 10 or 15 plays less. He wants to be more aggressive at the beginning of the game and at the beginning of the second half.
Swan dropping back, throwing to the near side. His guy, Will Shepard, already has 2 touchdown catches today, make it 6 on the young season. And he's taken down by Kalen Carson.
One thing I do love about A.J. Swan is despite the interceptions, he continues to let it rip. He's truly got that gunslinger mentality. You know, he sees the off corner to the field. You got to have a big arm to make that throw, especially throwing it from the opposite hash. And he's going to continue to get soft coverage to Will Shepard because of his ability to run by people and his 2 touchdowns already today.
And he's got so much confidence in Will Shepard. That relationship has really grown. They have great confidence in each other. Patrick Smith, a huge hole to run through for Cheeks. To the 2-yard line. Patrick Smith, they call him Cheeks.
And watch this wall that's set at center and right guard. Hernandez and 50, Bradley Ashman. I mean, it's just walled off right there. Grayson Morgan, the right tackle as well.
And they're going quickly after the 40-yard pickup. Patrick Smith just short of the touchdown, stopped by Jacob Roberts. A transfer from North Carolina A&T.
The thing about Vanderbilt today is when they've been down, they've shown the ability, even right before half, to respond quickly.
That snap goes over the head of Swan. He corrals it. Gets back to the 1-yard line.
This to me is 4-down territory. Having the ball on 1st and goal inside the 1-yard line. Bad snap here. Swan does a good job of first securing it, but at least getting it back to the 1-yard line to where it was.
And there's a Wake player down.
Timeout for an injured player.
That's Dylan Hazen. Already in this half, we saw Wake Forest. They had to cart Nick Sharp off the field, their right guard, after a leg injury. And now Dylan Hazen, the linebacker for Wake, shaken up. Good to see him stand up. Yeah, I want to go back to Vanderbilt's offense you just talked about. I mean, we've seen these flashes of how quickly they can score.
To me, they operate better with their no-huddle, almost like 2-minute drive mindset when it's not a 2-minute scenario or a 2-minute situation. We have seen them in 2 or 3 plays move a chunk of the field in the blink of an eye. And here it is, 3rd and goal. The first 2 plays have not been well executed. See what Joey Lynch dials up here.
Cedric Alexander is the running back. A.J. Swan looking to go under center here. Logan Kyle in motion. Back to Alexander. Wrapped up and held off by Jacob Roberts. Wake Forest loves this guy. He spent 4 seasons at North Carolina A&T and just has blossomed.
Comes running right through the A-gap, untouched. Right 40, right there in the black jersey, completely untouched. Decision of will Vanderbilt go for it or not. Looks like they're going to. I agree with this decision, Courtney. I mean, you had 1st and goal inside the 1, and a field goal is not going to beat this Wake Forest team, especially with the way the offense has been moving and scoring.
We've got big targets on either side. Logan Kyle, the tight end, he's in motion now. Cedric Alexander will get the call. Can he get it in? No! Denied! Wake's defense standing tall!
How about that? 4 straight plays from the 1-yard line. Wake Forest defense shows up. Malik Mustafa, who had the interception earlier in the game, makes an incredible tackle. I mean, watch these untouched black jerseys. 26, Bryant right there. 40 again showing Jacob Roberts, who made the play before. You know, and I think when Vanderbilt looks back at that, they're going to look at missed opportunities. You had the bad snap, which was a waste of a play. The 1st down run was not executed properly. Just a lot of black jerseys untouched there in the run game.
You mentioned Quincy Bryant, number 26 in black for Wake Forest. This is a guy, he's in his 2nd season at linebacker. Remember, he started as a safety, made that big stop right there. He's added weight, and it is paying off. Wake Forest taking over. They start backed up in their end zone, but they'll take it. No points allowed. Tate Carney running it out for the Demon Deacons. Stopped by Langston Patterson. There are a couple of keys on defense. Wake Forest told us right off the bat. Know where Jaden McGowan is. Stop the run.
Yeah, and they've done a good job with McGowan. He really has not been a factor at all today. Shepard has had a great game. Look, you're not going to be able to stop 2 great players, but, you know, only 3 touches today from McGowan so far.
Griffis has to step up. That's contact. Falls down around the 8-yard line. Langston Patterson there again. Picks up 4.
This Vanderbilt defense done such a good job. I know the score might not reflect it, but they've been put in some tough situations today, and see if they can dig deep here and get the ball back to their offense on their own side of the 50. Wake Forest so much today has been in these 3rd and shorts, 2 to 4, where they could run it or pass it.
This time they run it with Carney. Where we asked Warren Ruggiero, the offensive coordinator for Wake, what got Tate Carney, what got him on the depth chart? This is the first time we're seeing him. We didn't see him last week. And he said, look, this is a very smart kid. That helped him move ahead in that running back room.
Yeah. And he's had some great holes to run through it. I mean, right there, Pettibon at center. Goldman, who just stepped in for Sharp at right guard, gets some great blocks.
Pass out to Taylor Morin. 2nd down coming. Yeah, you don't ever want to see Nick Sharp or anybody go out. That's the right guard that was taken out for Wake. But they do feel like Sharp and Goldman are both starters. They called them co-starters this week. So you've got experience at that position. Hopefully Nick Sharp is okay. Griffis has got to move. Wesley Grimes on the sideline. He got it. 2 catches in this 3rd quarter for Grimes.
It seems like every time Griffis is flushed out of the pocket, he is looking for Grimes. I mean, that has been his go-to target. Vanderbilt only rushes 3 here. That's why Griffis has all day in the pocket. There is no pressure on him. And as soon as he escapes, Grimes does such a good job of always working back to the quarterback, being a big friendly target on an escape drill.
So 2 backs in now on 3rd and 1. Wake Forest 6 for 10 on 3rd down today. Claiborne. Carney just grabbed him and tried to push him forward. Was it enough? Langston Patterson got in there for Vanderbilt along with DeRicky Wright. Fourth down.
What will Dave Clawson do here?
No, first down now.
Give it to him.
They do get it. So Tate Carney, did you see him just pick up Claiborne?
Yeah, give Carney the assist. Because if it wasn't for Carney, it might not have been a first down. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. A teammate just pick you up and say, here, I'm going to put you here for a first down.
I've seen you push the pile, but that's a whole new level. It worked. This time Carney will get to run it by himself. Bounces off a guy. What a beast. Just a bulldozer down the field. Tate Carney tripped up inside the 5. What a first game for this guy.
Carney absolutely lowers the shoulder right here on Nicholas Rinaldi, number 24, who's a big kid at 235 pounds that he runs over, and you cannot arm tackle Tate Carney. What a day the redshirt freshman has had. He has just run through arm tackles left and right. And right there, that Vanderbilt defender, instead of trying to tackle him, he just kind of lazily tries to punch the ball out. It's been a theme today, going for the ball instead of going for the tackler.
It was a 74-yard pickup, Hudson, for Tate Carney and Wake, and now flags out.
Before the snap, timeout, Vanderbilt. This is their first charge timeout of the half.
So we'll step aside. What a run. Tate Carney chugging down the field, and Wake threatening again.
Can't sleep.
8 yards on this drive. Tate Carney has 83 of those.
Yeah, he got all of it, including a defender in Nicholas Rinaldi, who he just ran over. And Rinaldi's a linebacker at 240 pounds. That's no small individual. Tate Carney just ran him over on the way what should be another touchdown potentially for Wake Forest.
Celebrate last moments. Big and small with a gift from Windsor Jewelry.
Jumbo look for Wake. Carney punching it in. Vanderbilt signaling they have the football.
Vanderbilt saying they got the ball. Fireworks are going off.
The official
ruling
signal
on the
touchdown.
field is that the ball crossed the plane of the goal line for a touchdown.
We'll have to sort this out through replay, but right now it's at least a touchdown.
And his second of the day.
Yeah. Nice cutback here. He kind of gets skinny and just bulldozes his way through. Oh, no. The question is are they going to have evidence that the ball crossed the plane of the goal line? Because, the ball definitely came out before Carney was down.
Yeah, the ruling on the field was that the ball did break the plane of the goal line. So that's a touchdown.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to take another look at this, as Clark Lee is saying the same thing. He thinks that ball's out.
The ruling on the field is a touchdown. That play is under video review.
So many times with these red zone looks, too, it can be so hard. Everything's so tight and jumbled in there. It can be so hard to tell really where the ball is.
And I don't think you're going to be able to see it from this look, from behind.
My only thing is that ball comes out. As soon as contact is made, that ball comes out.
But is there enough for them to overturn it? Because the call was a touchdown.
Just based on that look, I would say no. If there was another look, a sideline look, or anything like that, that's what it's going to come down to, because I just don't know if he had. I have my doubts that he had crossed the plane of the goal line yet. I think Vanderbilt's going to get this back.
That's our best look at it that we can show you. Now, the replay officials have different looks that they're taking a look at. But again, the question is, did the ball cross the plane of the goal line?
Yeah, there's just no way for us, based on our looks, to know. At least have a good take on it one way or another.
How about this look?
Watch the left arm. Ball is already out right there.
But still, I just don't think that's enough to overturn it if that's what they're looking at.
The tough part about this angle is
here we go.
After review, video evidence shows that the runner fumbled the ball prior to breaking the plane of the goal line. The ball was recovered by the defense. The ball will go over to the defense inside the 1-yard line, first down.
All right, so they were able to see that on some different looks than we had. Can Vanderbilt use this momentum now? That's a big stop.
Yeah, it's a huge break for Vanderbilt, and that Vanderbilt defender puts his helmet right there on the ball, and Carney, who just had an incredible run to get Wake Forest all the way down inside the 1-yard line, fumbles the ball, and I think that's the right call. I mean, I know it can be hard to tell from this angle. Referees have a different angle than us, but they've got a sideline angle that they're looking at. Vanderbilt now has the ball on the 1-yard line.
All right, so Wake's defense got to stop at the 1. Now Vanderbilt's defense got to stop at the 1. A.J. Swan throwing out of there looking for Will Shepard, and even he can't make a play on that one.
Trying to take a shot at Shepard down the sideline. Wake Forest got safety help over the top, playing a cloud coverage. That'd be too hard to just fit that in there 30 yards down the sideline.
Second and 10 now in their own end zone. Connecting to a Shepard at the 8. Still needs 2 yards for the first down.
Gives him a little bit more breathing room. And that's a throw that he's gone to in tough situations today as almost kind of a blanket, a comfortable throw. When in doubt, he's picked on that boundary corner no matter who it is for Wake Forest. If that corner is playing soft, this time it's Kalen Carson playing soft. He takes that out route to his receiver, Will Shepard.
Vanderbilt 3 for 7 on third down. Jaden McGowan moving across the line. His first time on the field in the second half, and they immediately target him for the first down.
They bring McGowan in motion, and they use the leverage of the motion to get a natural pick and rub at the line of scrimmage. Wake Forest playing man coverage, which is exactly what you want. And you see the last 4 drives for Vanderbilt, especially the last 2, interception and a turnover on downs, and now they got to find a way to go 90-something yards and need to get points as we're inching closer to the fourth quarter.
Swan over the top to Justin Ball to the 20. Still needs 3 more yards for the first down. Jacob Roberts on the stop.
Joey Lynch, this is where now I got my first down. I got a little bit of breathing room. I'd start to get in some of that, whatever they call it, their version of their NASCAR tempo, their 2-minute tempo. I think today it's been clear that Swan is really comfortable when he's kind of calling, barking things out from the line of scrimmage, and they're going fast, and he's just playing off of his natural athleticism.
Again, the message for Swan today coming in was to play relax. First down, pass complete to Will Shepard. Do you think going faster he's got less time to overthink things
There's
too?
No doubt about it. I mean, if you look back at him last year, and Joey Lynch told us this, as any guy who's playing first time at quarterback as a freshman, you're relying on your natural athleticism. As guys get older and they learn more about the game, they tend to naturally overthink a little bit more because they know more. And I think that's a little bit of the tug and war that's going on. And they're trying to get him into that perfect balance of playing with that freshman athleticism but also that second-year knowledge and experience.
Again, Swan started 6 games last season, but this year, the first time going into the season as that full-time starter, Cedric Alexander picks up a yard, stopped by Kevin Pointer. We talked to A.J. Swan earlier in the week. He told us, look, I came into the season confident. I knew the playbook. Ken Seals, their backup quarterback, is a guy that's really helped him learn this offense and be comfortable in it. And now you got to trust yourself that you know it and just go play. Junior Sherrill cut back inside, first down, and dropped at the 44.
Sherrill makes this play. I mean, this is a 10-yard gain because of Sherrill and Sherrill only. I mean, this play is dead to rights, bubble screen to the perimeter. There's 2 Wake Forest defenders right there, and he just puts a little bit of a juke move on them. They over-pursue. And as they say, sometimes it's more about the Jimmies and Joes than it is the X's and O's.
Yeah, Junior Sherrill, this time last year, he was playing for Trent Dilfer, his high school head coach at Lipscomb Academy. Of course, Trent Dilfer now leading UAB. Swan shaken off, almost got taken down and threw the pass behind Jaden McGowan. Kalen Carson in coverage.
Justin Williams, combination of him and Jacine Davis able to get in there and force Swan to have to move his feet a little bit, and that led to an inerrant pass. Hasn't been a lot of pressure on either quarterback really today.
Second and 10 from their own 44. Patrick Smith bouncing around, bouncing outside. Yards short of the first down. Stopped by Malik Mustafa.
Remember, this drive started on the 1-yard line for Vanderbilt after a fumble from Tate Carney. Now they get the ball, the 3rd and short, first time right over on this drive, right over the 50.
Vanderbilt 4 for 8 on 3rd down today.
That soft corner one-on-one matchup to Will Shepard right there to the top of your screen if he wants it. He's been taking that out route. See how soft that... Ooh, throw.
They snap it to Patrick Smith. I'm not sure who it was going to because A.J. Swan also reached out for it. I don't think that was on purpose.
I'm with you. Here's what I do for Wake Forest. You better know where Will Shepard is, and he's down here to the bottom of your screen.
Vanderbilt 0 for 1 on 4th down. And they immediately go to Shepard. Makes the catch, loses his helmet. Flag comes out.
This is going to be targeting.
I think it was Jalen Garnes.
The result of the play is a completed catch for a first down. Personal foul, targeting on the defense, number 9. That play is now under video review.
All right, so for targeting, first you have to identify, is this a defenseless player? And the answer would be yes, because he is in the act of catching the football.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And, you know, the receiver in this case, Shepard,
confirm the call when they go to review it?
After review, there is no foul for targeting. Additionally, video evidence shows that it is an incomplete pass. The ball will go over on downs to the defense. First down.
So again, maybe they didn't have enough to confirm that targeting call, because you cannot do a play stands even though targeting is called on the field when it comes to that call, that penalty.
And they ruled that the pass was incomplete, and you saw that great from our crew in the truck on that last angle. That ball was coming loose, so Wake Forest ends up forcing a turnover on downs, and we all thought that it was going to be a first down plus some for Vanderbilt.
That's the second time today this Wake Forest defense has forced a turnover on downs. So Mitch Griffis has got to love this field position right in the middle of it. Claiborne got loose, still loose, first down, and he's still going to the 35. He goes over 100 yards on the day, so that is 2 100-yard rushers today for Wake.
Yeah, and a lot of these explosive runs have come on these counter plays where the offensive line, some of these guards and centers are pulling, and it's given the front 4 and 5 fits for Vanderbilt. They have not been able to stick a fit and get in there and rally and make a tackle.
Claiborne adding to his 114-yard rushing yard total today to the 32 now. Flag out at the 30. Officiating crew talking this one over. We wait to hear the word from the referee, Lee Hendrick. Two backs combining for 217 yards today for Wake Forest on the ground.
After the play was over, personal foul, face mask, number 62 of Wake Forest. The down counts. It will be third down.
That was on Devontae Gordon.
Him and Darren Agu, number 11 for Vanderbilt, kind of get into it a little bit.
Correction, it will be second down.
After the play is over.
So that moves him back to the 47-yard line, still in Vanderbilt territory. It'll be second and 22nd, or second and 22. Lots of twos on that. Griffis with all day. I mean, pick where you want to put the football. He was untouched, no pressure, and Taylor Morin is his target to the 30.
I think that's a great example of that internal clock not going off because it didn't need to. I mean, he had so much time in the pocket, and they've been reiterating to him, get rid of the ball when that clock in your head hits 3 or 4 seconds, but no need to there at all time.
17-yard pickup, 3rd and 5. Morin again. Move the chains. Important to note, Nick Sharp back on the sidelines right now for Wake Forest. He was carted off the field at the start of the 3rd quarter. First and 10. Claiborne will get 3 on that. Wake with 236 yards on the ground today. They only had 98 rushing yards last week against Elon. Elon crowded the box in that game, though, made it hard and made it easier for Wake to throw the football, which they did pretty well. Demon Deacons taking their time. Griffis ran out of time. C.J. Taylor drops him at the 25-yard line.
I'm not for sure if this was supposed to be one of those slow mesh plays and it went wrong. But you can see here, Griffis almost feels the pressure and the free defender, C.J. Taylor, blitzing off the edge. And I don't think he thought that his running back, Claiborne, was going to get over there in time. And so he tries to almost just kind of scoot over at the last second. And very odd looking, very weird. I don't know if it was a bust in protection or just a miscommunication between a quarterback and running back.
Yeah, that's the second time C.J. Taylor has gotten a hit on Mitch Griffis. Thrown up to the corner of the end zone, going up for it, coming down with it, Keyshawn Williams. Pretty pass.
Yeah, Mitch Griffis puts this ball in the air, and it feels like it was hanging up there all day, and it really was. Nobody in the secondary for Vanderbilt in sight. Another clean pocket to deliver it to. And another touchdown. And bust in the secondary for this Commodores defense leads to another touchdown.
And Wake is going to go for 2 here. Banks in motion. Griffis in trouble. Still stays up. Heaves it towards the corner. And right into the hands of Vanderbilt's Ricky Wright.
Well, the touchdown pass to Keyshawn Williams puts Wake Forest on the board again. Griffis to Williams for another touchdown. Take your bow, sir.
With field hockey, Syracuse hosting UConn, and that's followed by a soccer triple header. That's coming up on Sunday on the ACC network. 24-yard touchdown from Mitch Griffis to Keyshawn Williams. Makes our score 33-14 after a failed 2-point conversion by Wake. And the kickoff booted towards the end zone. Ready for a little trivia, Hudson?
Love trivia.
Well, here we go. It's now time for today's Aflac trivia question.
Aflac.
Get that duck out of here. Which college football coach has won 10 or more games in a single season at 4 different Division I schools? Give the people at home some time to think about it.
Okay.
Is it that guy?
Is it a hint? Is that supposed to be a hint?
Is Drew helping us out, our director? We'll find out. A.J. Swan starting off with a throw to Will Shepard. Falls forward past the 45-yard line to the 46, and a Wake Forest player is down. Vanderbilt's last drive ended when they did not convert on a 4th down at midfield. We'll step aside as Wake is attending to an injured player on the field. Limping off the field, he's in the medical tent right now for Wake Forest. Started his career at Vanderbilt and now a Demon Deacon. Chattanooga, Tennessee native. We'll keep an eye on him. It was a 21-yard pickup. The A.J. Swan pass to Will Shepard. Shepard with 8 catches today for 87 yards and a couple of touchdowns.
Yeah, it's been a good day for him. Outside of the turnovers, you would have loved to seen a game where, outside of the turnovers, eliminating the turnovers for Vanderbilt, a game where he would have been more of a threat in the fourth quarter because he's put on a show today, and especially when you get close to the red zone.
That's 6 receiving touchdowns for Will Shepard this season. This is Vanderbilt's 3rd game. Jaden McGowan coming across the field, rolling forward. stays inbounds and marked right at the spot he needed, so that'll move the chains. DeMarcus Rankin on his head following him.
His 5th catch of the day. I felt like McGowan was really never a factor earlier in the first half. It just, for as much as we thought that he was going to be used in a lot of different ways, credit Wake Forest, they found ways to kind of eliminate him, but he's been pretty quiet today.
A.J. Swan getting dropped from behind. Jasheen Davis.
Jasheen Davis working on a one-on-one pass rush on Grayson Morgan, the sophomore, and he just rips through right there to get the sack. You can see he's big, strong, heavy hands. Brad Lambert, the defensive coordinator for Wake Forest, loves this kid from Snellville, Georgia. He's been in the system for a while, knows it well, and these pass rushers, especially like Davis, are going to have a huge factor in how far Wake Forest can go this year.
Yeah, they talked about his motor. It absolutely never quits. Quick pass to London Humphreys. 2 yards short of the first down.
It's really the difference in what separates a good defense from a great defense is that pass rush. I think if you're a Wake Forest fan, you feel good about your secondary. You feel good about being able to play a lot of different coverages, putting your corners in one-on-one situations. I just think the question is how often can they do that? And in big-time situations, do they have a guy that can go get the quarterback?
Pass complete to Junior Sherrill at the 30.
Lines up all the way on the left side of the formation, has a ton of traffic to work through, but freshman comes up with another catch.
Vanderbilt's going to move quickly. Pass incomplete to Justin Ball, threw it behind him. Talking about Wake's defense, a guy that we keep calling his name, Jacob Roberts. This is a transfer from North Carolina A&T, and talking to Brad Lambert and the coaching staff for Wake, they said, when you see a guy transfer up, moving to a Power 5 program, you love to see him play on fire and have success. And this is a guy that's doing that in the middle of the defense for Wake.
Got a lot of guys that have transferred up. Most of the time you see guys transfer down, but Wake's been able to become a landing spot for a lot of those guys that are overachievers at the D1 AA and D2 level.
Yeah, Mount Mustafa is one of those two. Thrown into double coverage on a dime to London Humphreys.
This is an amazing throw from A.J. Swan, who's getting tackled as he's throwing the ball. And, he flicks this thing 35, 40 yards. He's getting draped and pulled down, not to mention that it's completely double covered. Most coaches would say don't throw that football as you're getting taken to the ground. He drops it right in the bucket between two Wake Forest defenders. That's a really impressive throw for A.J. Swan.
London Humphreys, his second touchdown of the season, and now Vanderbilt will try the 2-point. Patrick Smith is the back. Thrown up to the corner, and it's taken away by Kalen Carson. He was trying to go back to Humphreys in the corner of the end zone.
Yeah, not a great throw. I never understand the play fake on a fade route. The play fake plus the fade seems a little unnecessary to me.
Hey, but it's a 30-yard touchdown pass. A.J. Swan to London Humphreys. 5:15 Eastern, App State in North Carolina. That's followed by Duke stepping up, and Southern Miss at Florida State is our nightcap at 8:30 Eastern. Again, that's over on the ACC network. You can also watch it on the ESPN app. All right, so with the 30-yard touchdown, we got a 2-score ball game here. Wake Forest is going to call for the fair catch, and it was a pretty nice throw by A.J. Swan. Vanderbilt very thankful to have him at quarterback, Larisha.
Vandy was actually very unique. How did he even get to Vandy? This picture right here, the wedding dress that you see of his sister. His sister's wedding dress was in Nashville, and his parents one day asked if he wanted to come along for the ride to simply pick up the wedding dress. And while they were there, they wanted to catch some football, so they reached out to some of the coaches that he was actually being recruited by, and they made that happen. And after going back for a second visit, it was then that A.J. Swan made the decision to decommit from Maryland and then go on to Vandy. And the rest has been history.
So I guess Clark Lee and Vanderbilt have his sister to thank. There's a nice run to start from DeMond Claiborne.
What a day Claiborne has had. He's had great holes provided to him by his offensive line the entire day. It's really been a lot of the difference in terms of offensive production between the two teams today. 250 rushing yards by a collective group today for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons.
And Warren Ruggiero, their OC, told us DeMond Claiborne, he can be a home run hitter in the future. We've seen sparks of that. He's a really twitchy back, and he's got that speed. Carrying guys with him for the first down and into Vanderbilt territory.
Yeah. You can see very frequently has he been touched at all on the first level. He's very slippery. Watch him just kind of slip through right there untouched, and then he has the power to run over you like he does there. You're right, Corey. I mean, he's got so many different kind of versatile parts of his game. He can be athletic in space. He can be big and athletic when he needs to run over people. It's a really impressive running back.
He was a state champion in the 100-meter dash. Got a twin brother, Damian. Look at the patience he runs with. That's got to be hard to do, to hold yourself back and wait for that opening.
No, I mean, I'm so fascinated by this kind of slow mesh, patient running. It reminds me so much of Le'Veon Bell with the Pittsburgh Steelers. But all of this is by design. I mean, he basically just gets to the line of scrimmage and he just hangs out there for a second. Yeah. You know, I mean, you don't see that, and it's what makes this offense so unique.
And Wake, of course, trying to eat up as much clock as they can. Mitch Griffis is going to slide. And a flag comes out. Trudell Berry was there. And possible targeting here?
Yeah. Anytime you got a quarterback sliding and a defender kind of lowering his helmet, I'm always going to take a second look at this for targeting.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, late hit on the defense with targeting. That play is under video review.
Okay, so in this case, Mitch Griffis, he is not a defenseless player. He is making a football move. He sees the defender coming. So when that's not the case, you have to see, was there forcible contact with the crown of the helmet? We're talking about the 6-inch radius around the top of the helmet, and they need one indicator of targeting, whether he launched, was there a crouch followed by an upward and forward thrust? And I think you're going to see that right there.
Yeah, I mean, the crown, certainly there is helmet-to-helmet contact. You know, it could be debated, what does he use the crown of his helmet? I mean, is the crown of the helmet the top part of the helmet?
After review, there is no foul for targeting. Number 30 of the defense may remain in the game. The personal foul for the late hit will be enforced. That's an automatic first down.
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's why we don't have to make that decision,
No,
Hudson.
I'm glad I don't have that job.
Yeah.
I'm really glad. Because I've struggled with trying to figure out what exactly is targeting, what isn't targeting anymore.
Mitch Griffis just really taking over this Wake Forest team. He told us he's become more of a leader. He loves people. He's a people person, so his goal coming into the season, he was going to be the starting quarterback. He wants to have a genuine relationship with all the guys on his team, especially his offensive guys. And he's earned that respect. Eating as much clock as they can. Tate Carney on the ground. Just inside that 15-yard line.
And you know Dave Clawson is preaching ball security right now to any running back that touches it, but especially Tate Carney, who had the fumble earlier in the red zone.
Darren Agu down for Vanderbilt. in his first game back since being hurt, and we'll step aside here. 6:19 on the clock as they attend to Agu. So we're going to answer our Aflac trivia question. Which college football coach has won 10 or more games in a single season at 4 different D1 schools? Well, we tried to help you out.
Gave you a hint.
Dave Clausen, of course, who's now leading this Wake Forest Demon Deacons team. Last did it here at Wake Forest in 2021. Last year, Wake went 8-5, won the Gasparilla Bowl. Right now, they're just trying to run the clock as much as possible and eat it up. Carney. What do you think about the new option that Tate Carney has given Wake? Keep in mind, Justice Ellison was not available today due to a concussion at practice this week.
Yeah, when that news broke right before the game started, I'll be honest, I was a little concerned. I hadn't seen a lot of Tate Carney, and him as a young guy, you always wonder about can they handle not only the stuff in the run game, but pass protection with a quarterback and everything. But he's had a great showing today, not only on the ground, but also in the pass protection game, keeping his quarterback clean.
3rd and 3. 5 minutes left. Mitch Griffis has it. And that's a first down.
Pulls the ball on a zone read, and that's kind of how sneaky athletic he is. If you're a safety or a defensive end, you have to, on those zone reads, make sure that your shoulders do not go flying down the line of scrimmage, because he will pull it on you and make you pay.
If you're Vanderbilt, Hudson, when do you think about using your timeouts? I mean, it's a 2-score game right now. You're only down 13.
Yeah, I would say probably not in this situation, because either way they're going to get points, but you're definitely you're getting to that point. I mean, they're going to burn off another minute and a half here, at least, if they don't. So
Claiborne will be a couple of yards short of the end zone.
Vanderbilt, really, at this point, you're just going for the ball. You know, you're trying to create a turnover.
And if you're Wake, you're doing this, what you've been doing, eating up the clock, letting it run, taking the whole play clock.
Yep, eat up the clock and ball security. That's what I'm preaching in that huddle right now.
This will be the 9th play of this drive for Wake. A jumbo look here. Claiborne. Going to get stopped. 3rd goal coming up. Third and goal, same look for the Demon Deacons. Claiborne behind Griffis. On the ground. And Vanderbilt's going to stop him. Langston Patterson met him with authority.
Timeout, Vanderbilt. That is their second charge timeout of the half. That will be a 30-second timeout.
So timeout now, 2:28 on the clock. Keep in mind, well, fourth down, let's first, if you're Wake Forest, what are you doing?
Well, I think you kick the field goal here because it makes it not only a two-score game, but you got to get 2 touchdowns and you got to get 2 point conversions. I think I just one-upped you on all the 2s.
And they do have Matthew Dennis on there.
Number 78 is now number 39 for the kicking team, and number 76 is now 38. 78 is 39.
Yard attempt here for Matthew Dennis. He has hit from 44 today. Up and good. 36-20. Last week we talked a lot about the passing game for Wake Forest. This week, the ground game. Impressive for the Demon Deacons. Not one, but 2 backs that have gone over 100 yards.
Yep, and it's been a great day at the office for these 2 guys, Carney and Claiborne, and it is a great day when you can have 2 guys that go over 100 yards each. Both physical, but both 2 different runners in their own ways. Here, earlier in the game, Carney runs over Nicholas Rinaldi, the linebacker for Vanderbilt. Gets it all the way down to the end zone. The only bad part about this is he fumbled and wasn't able to punch it in, but that doesn't take away from the other touchdown and great day that both these running backs had.
And the first appearance for Tate Carney this season. Coming in because Justice Ellison wasn't available due to that concussion. So now Vanderbilt will get the football. Down 16 with 2:24 to play. They have 1 timeout. And Jaden McGowan's going to run it out. Met at the 20. Whew, with some pop, too. Aiden Hall got there. Hello.
See Hall come flying down on the kickoff coverage team, and don't tell him he's up 16 and the game's over. Boom.
Now, if you're Vanderbilt, once we get under 2 minutes, the clock will stop on first down, and they've got a timeout to work with, but a hole to dig out of. Over the middle, McGowan still on his feet to the 27-yard line. Vanderbilt has looked better when they've played with tempo.
Yep.
Under 2 minutes now, so the clock will stop on first down. They're going to be short about a yard of that. Pass to Logan Kyle, Dylan Hayes in there.
I think one of the things for Vanderbilt going forward offensively is how explosive will they be.
Patrick Smith leaping forward to the 40-yard line now.
Today they averaged 12 yards per completion, which is actually really good, but it actually felt less than that. And so I think moving forward, especially in the SEC with the competition they play, got to find ways to create more explosive plays in the passing game.
And A.J. Swan almost threw his 3rd interception of the day. Malik Mustafa, Jalen Garnes in coverage. Clock stops at the minute 23. Second and 10 at the 40. Swan got a move, being chased, taken down, dropped. Jacob Roberts, we told you about this guy.
He comes all the way over from the other side. You're going to talk about a guy with a motor and energy.
Timeout, Vanderbilt. This is their third and final timeout of the second half. Please reset the game clock to 1:14, 1:14.
So that timeout stops the clock, 1:09.
Thank you.
Well, let's take a look at the Saturday MVP. It's brought to you by Sport Clips, and we're going with the QB for Wake, Mitch Griffis.
Yep, great day for Mitch Griffis. On the ground, through the air, really didn't matter. When his number was called, he was on today. Fade pass here for a touchdown earlier in the game, puts it right on the money. Whether he was under pressure, whether he had a clean pocket, Mitch Griffis stepped up big today. It was his third career start, his first career start versus a Power 5 team, and I'd say he aced that pretty well.
Seven for 26, 196 yards and 2 touchdowns. No interceptions for Mitch Griffis. They're ruling that pass incomplete, but almost.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. 4th down.
Picked off by Jalen Garnes. And 4th and 13.
And the 4th interception today for this Wake Forest defense. Swan is expecting Shepard to break it in front of that defender.
And now 2 players slow to get up for Vanderbilt, but they do. And that should do it for Wake Forest. What did we learn about Wake Forest today?
They're a real ball club. I mean, they are a complete team on both sides of the ball, and I think there were some questions, and look, there'll still be some questions moving forward for Mitch Griffis. He looked good today against Vanderbilt. As competition gets better and stiffer in ACC play, can he elevate his play as well? But it's never easy replacing a legend, much like he had to do with Sam Hartman. And this is a guy, though, that I think has bridged it really well, and I think Wake Forest fans should be really optimistic about where this team can get to with him at quarterback.
They had a couple of goals for him, focuses this week. His internal clock, and then at times he tried to do too much last week. Did you see improvement in those 2 areas?
Yeah, I mean, they gave up 4 sacks last week against Elon, and I know all those sacks weren't on him, but a few of them were. They wanted him to get rid of the ball a little quicker, sometimes holding it onto it for too long, and only 1 sack today, so that's really good improvement.
Dave Clawson will keep his perfect record at Wake against SEC teams, moving to 4-0 against the SEC, and Wake Forest starting the season 2-0. Vanderbilt will drop to 2-1. Where do you go from here if you're Vanderbilt?
Well, I think you obviously got to go back and you'll watch the tape. I think what the tape will tell you is turnovers were your problem again, and they were the reason why you lost this game. If you go through and look at the points off turnovers and the difference in the margin, you could easily come up with